Michael, I'm going to be your host for this afternoon's session. We're looking at the additional reports libraries this afternoon for both CH50 accounts and CH50 payroll. Probably should be a shorter webinar today, maybe around about the 25-minute mark, I think. Obviously, we'll just give you an idea of maybe some of the options that you've got available in addition to the standard reports that you've already got in the software. As I say, we're going to be approaching it from both an accounts and a payroll perspective. As usual, you will receive a follow-up email later today as well, and it will include links so you can register for other webinars and also so you can watch recordings as well. Right, a little bit of housekeeping before we get started today though. So if you've attended any of our webinars before, you'll know that your microphone, which you don't need, but if you've got one and you've enabled it, will be muted automatically. Now that means you can't verbally ask us any questions, but you will be able to type them into the questions panel. So if you do have any questions for us today, then questions panel, bottom right hand corner of your screen, just start typing your comments or your questions in there, click send, and we'll try and pick those up as best we can. So I'm joined today by Jackie, Tina and Abby, who'll be on hand to answer any questions that you might have. So if you want to keep them busy, you want to engage with us, just get typing. Right, okay, let's have a look at what we're going to be covering in this session today though. So a little bit of background as to what the additional reports library actually is. Well, I'll just quickly set the scene already. We're not looking at designing reports in this session. We're looking at the additional reports that are available to you in addition to the standard reports that you've got. If you want more advice on report design, you'll find it in the Help Center. And of course, our support team is on hand to assist you in that area as well. So we've got a little bit of background to what the report library is. We're going to have a look at the demonstration as well, how you go about accessing it, the various options for downloading additional reports, and how you go about adding them to CH50 accounts and also CH50 payroll. Also want to pick up on the report finder as well. So Michael, you're asking about variables and things like that. We're not picking up that type of query today. So again, we're not looking at the report design side of things in today's session. That's not what this one's about. We're looking at reports that standard reports that are available for you to download. Right, anyway, we're going to pick up on the report finder. So report finder, with there being so many reports available to you in the software, whether that's accounts or payroll, probably one of the most common questions is, right, which report should I run for this type of thing? So we're going to show you the report finders and how it can help you to identify the one that you're after and get to it. And then we'll just finish today's session by a bit more information about the additional support that is available to you. Right, quick question. Now, if you don't already use CH50 accounts, then just have a guess. Maybe if you're payroll based only, then have a guess. So question today is, assuming you're on the highest level of CH50 accounts, so the professional level, how many standard reports do you think are available in that level of the software? So just use the questions panel, pop an answer in, just whatever you think, pop a decent guess in there. So how many do you think would be available? So in this, I'm going to include reports, different layouts that you might have available, and also the letters as well. So we'll see what we come up with. Probably quite interesting there. So this is where my questions panel goes absolutely crazy at this point, as you all type an answer in there. And my colleagues sit there panicking, thinking, where's all the questions gone as they scroll past them? Okay. Now, I don't honestly have an exact answer for this one, but by default, there's approximately 900 reports. Layouts wise, there's about 130. So when you take into account things like your invoices, sales orders, purchase orders, remittance advices, statements, and on top of that, you've got letters as well. Not a massively used area of the software, the letters area. So you're looking at getting on for just over 1,000 in total if you take your layouts and your letters into account. So if you've got anywhere near that, Rebecca, you said 10,000. I think that was the highest one. Margaret, you jumped in with 5,000, so not probably feels like that when you first start looking at them. So it's around about the 1,000 mark. If anyone wants to sit and count them, let me know exactly how many there are. So that will give you an idea why people get lost in it as well. But there is also one of the most popular questions is, I need this one, or you need a standard report tweaked. This is maybe where the additional reports library can come in. So moving on, so what is the additional reports library? Well, basically, as it would suggest, it's free additional reports for you to download and use within Sage 50 Accounts or Sage 50 Payroll. We used to do, quite a few years ago now, we used to do a report of the month. So we'd look at commonly requested reports, and some of the more popular ones were picked and published via this reports library. So it might be like an age debtors report that was tweaked and people wanted it sorted in a certain order, or maybe a specific employee report in payroll. Again, the more popular ones, they would be published as report of the month. Now, there are two libraries available for each product. There's a standard library and there's an advanced library. Now, access to whichever library will be determined by your level of cover. Now, I have recorded a link, or if anyone's downloaded the handout for today's session, so that's available via your toolbar on the right-hand side. These buttons that I've put on the bottom of these slides will work for you. So if you do give it a click, it will take you to one of our Help Center articles that will give you access to the libraries. But again, access will be determined by your level of cover. So a standard library, if you've got standard Sage cover or essential cover, you would have access to that one. Advanced, you would need Sage cover extra, essentials cover plus, or something like essentials cover expert. So I'm not going to take queries at this point as to how can I find out what level of cover I have. If you need advice on that one, just get in touch with our support team or access your account, and you should be able to find it there as well. Right, okay, so that's a little bit of background to the additional report libraries that are available. What we'll do now is we'll just go in and access that. So we'll show you how to access it, how you can download reports, and how you go about adding them into 50 accounts or 50 payroll. The process is pretty much the same. So let me share my screen. If I can find the right button this afternoon. There we go. I'm going to start with accounts today. Now, you can access the Help Center in a number of different ways, as you can via payroll as well. So within accounts, you've got the Help Center link here on your navigation bar. And actually, I'll just switch to payroll at this stage as well. And within payroll, you will have, where's it gone? You've got your Help Center. You might well have it displayed. So you might have your Help Center link. You should have it on your toolbar at the top here. I've just got my resolution set quite low this afternoon, just to make things that little bit bigger for you. If you've got decent size monitor, decent resolution, then Help Center will be listed at the top. So once you've into the Help Center, so might as well just choose it. Let's get rid of that one. So in the Help Center, if you just search for additional reports, helps if you can type as well. So there's various options, additional reports and the report design service. There's a which report, which we're going to come back to a little bit later on, and also the free additional reports. So a number of ways to access that. If I just go back to just my browser as well, so let's bring that one up. You can always just go directly to sage.co.uk/help, which will take you into the Help Center, and then you can choose your product. Now, I'm just going to use this link that I've already got set up, save me searching for it. And it's going to take you into this article when you find the right one. Again, this is the article that's linked to from the slide if you have downloaded those, the handout for today's session. So this will give you access to both the standard libraries and also the advanced report library as well. So it's just a case of you clicking through your product. Now, all of the standard report libraries are included in the advanced libraries for both products. But they will look slightly different. And also the process for downloading them and copying them into your software is slightly different as well, depending which library you're looking at. So this is the accounts one, just as an example. Just to expand it, it'll give you an idea of remittance advices, a retrospective unreconciled bank report. Let's have a look at invoice reports, just as an example. Product sales by stock category, customer reports, loads in there. It's just a case of finding the one you're after. Now for the standard report library, you'll click the report and it will download for you. And there'll be instructions, as there is on the payroll report, for the payroll library as well, as to how you go about where to copy that report to once you've downloaded it. So all the instructions, again, if you downloaded that handout, will be available to you. Just go back a step to the advanced library this time. So the advanced library, again, slightly different experience, this one. And that goes for the payroll side of things as well. More available, obviously, it's the advanced library and looks a little bit different. So in this one, you will download the likes of a backup. So I just download this one as an example. You sign in. This is one of those moments where everything will probably seem like it runs really, really slowly at this point. Never helps as I'm obviously running the webinar via my internet connection as well. So this obviously will give you more information about the report, giving you information about how you go about downloading and installing them as well. So I just download this one as an example. It downloads it. Obviously, it goes into your downloads folder. Depending on your browser, you may be prompted with the Save As window, so you can choose where you want to save it. Let's close that. Now, to get that into my account software, all I would need to do is go to File and then Restore, because it has actually downloaded a backup containing that report only. Now, before you restore any backups, and I would always say this, and I'm sure my colleagues would advise this as well, whether you're in accounts or payroll, back up your data first. Just in case you go to restore and maybe you choose the wrong one, you choose something other than that backup that you've just downloaded containing that one report. So back up your data. I'm sure you know how to do that. If not, get in touch with our support team. They'll assist you with that. But if I just skip past that, obviously I'm just using dummy data. So I'll show you the restore side of things. So if I click restore, click browse, and then it's just a case in my example of browsing through to select that file, in this case, the backup that I've downloaded. So select it, just OK it. Now, this is the bit that will probably unnerve you a little bit, which is why I would always say, back up your data first of all, accounts or payroll. Tells me you're about to restore data. This procedure will overwrite any data held in the current company. Do you want to continue? So I'm going to click yes. Tells me the restore has been successful. Are you OK with that? Log on as normal. And that should be it done. So if I pop into customers, I think it was a customer report, into reports, and then go into my customer reports, I've got the additional report in that folder. If I did want to specifically pop that into with being an age debtors report, for instance, if I wanted specifically to put that into the age debtors folder, then I would need to do that behind the scenes. So I need to essentially copy that file outside of the Sage software, or I could highlight it, amend it, edit it, and then when I come to save it into the age debtors folder. That will be another way of doing that. Payroll, be pretty much the same. Let's have a quick look at a payroll one. So we'll go back to my browser, go back to where we were, into the Payroll Advanced Library, just to maybe give you an idea as well. I'm sure some of you will be sat there thinking, oh, is there a report for this? Is there one for that? Have a good look to see what's there. So I'll just quickly scroll past some of them as well. Some of them will be designed as additional pay slips, so variations of that people have requested over the years. So the more popular ones are now made available. So again, if I wanted to download one, just as an example, just click download. Download again. And then it even gives you the instructions on here as to what you would do. So again, that's just downloaded into my downloads folder. And again, just as similar to what we just looked at within accounts. If I go back to my payroll software, I could now just go to File, into Restore, and then just click Next. Choose what it is I want to restore. So it's report files. And then it would just be a case of me browsing through and selecting the one I'm after. So this one here. So to follow that through, and again, depending on what it is that you've downloaded, you would then have that report available in the relevant area. So nice and simple. Now that's the additional reports library, or the libraries, I should say, because there's obviously two for each product. What I also want to mention though is the report finders. So as we mentioned at the beginning, just for accounts, there's about 1,000 or so reports, layouts, letters available. So one of the most useful tools when it comes to reporting is the Which Report tools that are available for both accounts and payroll, the report finders. So these will help you to get out the reports that you're after. So probably, as you can probably imagine, one of the most common common queries that we commonly support is, which report do I run to get this information? Or I know I want this report. Maybe you've got a printout of a report that maybe your colleague's done. This report, where do I find it within the software? So this is where the report finder will come in for both accounts and payroll. Again, if you've downloaded the slides, you will be able to access these. But nice and easy to find again within your software. So let's get back to my screen. We'll get back to the Help Center. So let's just declutter my browser a little bit. Let's go to the knowledge base, choose your product. So I'm going to go choose Sage 50 Cloud Accounts this time. And then we'll just type in Report Finder. So again, you would have the same options if you're going from a payroll perspective. And the first option it should find is this Which Report. So let's just have a look at the accounts one first of all. So from here, we can scroll down, click the Report Finder tool. And this is where it's going to list all the reports for us. We can apply filters. So say, for instance, we wanted specifically a customer report as an example, and we want date last invoiced, any other information we want. Once we've done that, once we've selected the appropriate filters, just click apply, and then it's going to give you a list of results. So have a good look through that, see what's available. You can also search on keywords as well. So we're looking for the trial balance as an example. So again, it'll filter, and in this case, it's telling me what they are, a little bit about them, and also how I would navigate to them within the software. Also, some of them as well that it finds, it will tell you what level they're on. So this one, as an example, nominal codes, reports, trial balance. It's telling me that it's available in Sage 50 Cloud Accounts standard and above, so standard and professional in that instance. So that specific one, the transactional trial balance, it means it wouldn't be available if you won the essentials level. Right, just going back to the Help Center one more time, just go up to the top, and I'll choose payroll this time. Again, just type for which report. And the first, well, not the first one, the second one for some reason, second one that it finds, be similar option where you can apply filters, clear the filters, and you can search for keywords as well. So, you know, if we're looking for an attachments-based report, for instance, and what information do we want to see on the report? Attachment name. Let's just apply the filters at that point, and it's going to give me a list of the reports and how I access them. So keep that one handy. Again, if you've downloaded the slides, you will have the links on there as well to easily get at them. But as you can see, when you go into the Help Center, if you just type in Report Finder, irrespective of what product you're on, it should find the relevant one for you. Now, the other thing I must quickly mention as well, and I haven't included this on the slides, is that if you've exhausted those options, so you've had a look in the software, you can't find what you're after, or it isn't in the additional reports library either, or you just can't find it, we do have a report design service as well. So maybe you just need a certain report tweaked, or maybe you want one designed from scratch to suit your needs. Then, as I say, the report design service, if you want information about that, get in touch with our support team. For some reports will be included as part of your cover, others it may be a chargeable option. But if it gets you to exactly what you need report-wise, then obviously that could be a big time saver. Now, we've used the Help Center quite a bit today as well. So if I just pop back there to the slides, sorry, quick plug for the Help Center. Loads of information in there, whether it's reporting or anything else to do with your software. You'll find guides, videos, information about the free training that's available via Sage University, and there's options to get in touch with our support team as well. So do use them. Fantastic resource, that one. Also want to quickly mention Sage membership as well, to give that a quick plug. You may have heard, if you've attended any webinars over the last couple of months, we've been plugging away, mentioning Sage membership. So Sage membership pulls together 3 key areas: Sage University, so where we host all of our online courses, Sage City. Again, if you've attended any webinars recently, you may have received links for Sage City. Sage City, it's got blogs, there's Q&A, there's forums on there, but we've started hosting the webinars on there as well. So if you need to access recordings, the Q&A, copy of the Q&A from these sessions, or things like maybe you need a copy of the handout that you forgot to download or you've misplaced, you can do that via Sage City now. Again, link will be included on your follow-up. And then finally, Masterclass. So season 2 is out now as well of Sage Masterclass. Masterclass videos are all about developing your business. So looking after your employees or improving productivity within the business. So these are sort of general business advice, which is really nothing to do with your software. So it's not Sage software focused. This is business advice from people that obviously work in relevant industries. Again, if you've downloaded that, the link at the bottom of that slide will work for you, so you can easily access those videos on demand. Just a quick plug for some of the upcoming webinars as well, and we've got a few for report design coming up. So I noticed a few questions did come through on report design. So we've now got Tina on board with our webinar gang. So Tina's sort of come in as a report design expert, and next week she will be running a brand new topic, this one, where we're going to be looking at report design and specifically looking at how the use of groups and sorts within the report. So starting to get into the main body of the report. And we'll be developing on that over the coming months. Loads of other topics that you can sign up for as well. So we've got month end coming up on Thursday of this week, CIS tomorrow. If anyone is CIS registered, Jackie will be running a session on that tomorrow on the domestic, sorry, I think it's standard CIS tomorrow. And then in the future will be, I think next week, we'll be running a domestic reverse charge one as well. We're looking at journals, again, back to Tina for looking at customer letters and how you can create festive messaging on that. Prepayments and accruals, fixed assets. And if you've got any requests, let us know. Pop it on the survey that will appear as you leave the session today. Now, hopefully that's given you some food for thought as to not only the number of reports, but how you go trying to identify the reports that you're after or maybe that you need. Remember, there is that report design service available as well. If you need any information on the report design service, about what we can and can't design for you, then do get in touch with our support team and they can discuss that with you. Great question there. I think Jackie's picked that one up. How do you access Masterclass? If I just go back to the slide with the member Masterclass on there, you've got your link at the bottom. So sage.com/UK/masterclass is probably, I think that's the shortest one I'm aware of. Again, if you've downloaded a copy of the slides, the handout today, using the link on the side of the screen, then obviously that link should work for you as well. Right, brings us to the end of the session. Nice short one today. So one favor, we always ask if you can take a minute, please complete the short exit survey as you leave. And watch out for your follow-up email. It will include links so that you can register for future webinars, watch recordings later today. It'll also give you the access to see some of the common questions and answers from today's session as well, which is a very common request we've been receiving, so we've now made that available. It'll not be all the questions and answers, but some of the more common ones that we think would be useful for everyone. We will make that available as well. Diana, you mentioned there, so I'll just quickly pick up on Diana's query. Again, if anyone else has got any queries, we'll hang around for about another 5 minutes, just till maybe about 2:30, just to try and pick up maybe some of the additional questions as well. Right, so quick question from Diana. Diana's just gone back to the report integration. So if you've downloaded a report, maybe you've restored it, will you need to restore your data again to the original? You shouldn't need to. So if you've downloaded the report in the backup format, so from the one of the advanced library, they download as backups. Yes, I would always encourage you to back up your data before you restore that. But when you restore it, it should only restore in the additional report only. It shouldn't overwrite any data. So there should be no need to then try and restore your data over the top. All your data should still be intact. I just mentioned about backing up your data as a precaution. I would hate you to go and restore, then select something other than that backup of that one report that you've downloaded, and then you're overriding your data. So just be a little bit careful with it. You're just covering your back by taking your data back up beforehand. So you shouldn't need to restore that. You restore back to your data after that. So Julie, you mentioned some of the letters are password protected. How do you get that off? Now, I'm not sure whether you mean when you're going to download them or when you use them. Some letters, when you generate those, particularly if you're going to be emailing out, to be able to use them, so when you open a PDF, it will be one of two things. I think on the account side, just see if I can find it. So if you go into a customer's account, it'll be the reporting password here on the account side. So if you make sure that's blank, if you output a letter to a customer, for instance, it then won't be password protected. For the employee side of things, if you're working from within payroll, I believe it uses the national insurance number. Let me just double check if that's the case. Just been my luck today, I've got no employee set up. So yes, it should be. Quick question from Margaret as well. Is tomorrow's webinar aimed at UK construction activities rather than Republic of Ireland? Yes. We're looking at CIS so Construction Industry Scheme. So if you are registered for that one, we're going to show you by having the module enabled within Sage 50 accounts, what you'll be able to do. So the generation or recording CIS in your accounts, what does that look like? Generating a CIS return. And I think we hopefully will be able to show you how to submit that online as well. I'm not sure if that's included. But yeah, we'll be looking from a CIS. We're not looking at from an Irish perspective. Nothing to do with that in that session. Julie, you mentioned the password is to do with when you, after you download them and try to open them. So make sure you're opening them within Sage Accounts itself, but or Sage Payroll. But if you're having any bother with that, just get in touch with our support team. We can have a look at that with you. I'm not aware of why it would be asking you a password beyond that. Stephen, again, the downloads, it will depend on the sort of the level of your cover, whether you can or can't download it. Again, any problems downloading it, if you're not sure whether you should be entitled to or not, again, get in touch with our support team. I think we are on top of the questions at the moment, so we'll just give it another minute or two just to see if any additional questions do come through. But I think we've answered them so far, the ones that are there. So you've kept Tina, Jackie, and Abby quite busy this afternoon. Think of anything afterwards, so you know where we are. Just getting, as I say, check the information within the help centre, or get in touch with our support team in the usual way. Right, we'll end the webinar just at that point. Once again, many thanks for coming along. If you can take a minute to pop any feedback, any thoughts, ideas you have, pop it on the little survey that should pop up as you leave the session today. That'd be greatly appreciated. And your follow-up email should be with you in either 1 to 2 hours. I can't remember what I've got it flagged to when it's going to be sent. So watch out for that one. It will include a link to Sage City where you can download a copy of the record or view a copy of the recording, access the Q&A, the ones that we think will be relevant to everyone, and also you'll be able to access a copy of the recording as well. So take care, stay safe, and hopefully we'll see you on some future webinars. Many thanks.